I want to welcome everybody to our annual budget forum. I want to thank you for joining us as we seek your input as we plan the budget for the Planning Department and for the Department of Parks and Recreation for Cochise County. Your participation is very, very important. I am so happy to see so many people in this room, and we appreciate hearing your voice on the issues that are of importance to you all. Your voice helps guide us as we work through the budget process. Make no mistake about that. It does make a difference. It is important. With your input, we're going to continue to build upon our community-focused programs. We'll support the county's growth and economic development and plan for all the future generations in the county, many of whom we see in the room here, which is nice. For this forum, I want to introduce my colleagues from the Planning Board who are joining us. We're joined by Vice Chair Dorothy Bailey. We also have, who will be joining us in just a minute, he is in the building, Commissioner William Dorner, and I'll introduce him again when he gets here. And to my far right, we have Commissioner Manuel Giraldo, who, I don't know who served longer, Commissioner Giraldo or Vice Chair Bailey. Who's been here longer?
He's the oldest.
And I'll get myself out of trouble really quickly and move right along.
I'm a gentleman. I am the oldest.
Thank you. We also have Commissioner Shanice Washington, who will not be joining us, regrettably, but she will have a verbatim transcript of the forum, and she'll get copies of the testimony there in writing, etc. So please note this meeting is being recorded, and the video will be archived and available via the Planning Board's website, pgplanningboard.org. Prior to your testimonies, the Commission's Corporate Budget Director will give a brief presentation on the operating budget, the overall budget process timelines, and the capital improvement program. And we appreciate that you have taken the time again to join us this evening and share your ideas. And of course, please know that staff is available for concerns or requests throughout the year. This is not the only time you have your voice heard. This is just a public budget forum where we have the opportunity to hear from you directly. And you can see contact information up on the screen, but you can reach out to staff here if you have questions and things like that. There are several key members of our agency who are going to be taking notes, as I've talked about. And let me introduce them and have them just give out a quick wave. We'll start with our Acting Executive Director for the full commission, Bill Spencer. We have our Corporate Budget Director, who we'll hear from in just a minute, Terry Bacot-Charles. We also have from the Planning Department, I believe she is here, Director Lakeisha Hull. And we have our Acting Deputy Director, James Hunt. We also have from the Department of Parks and Recreation, Bill Tyler, who's not here, but again, will have access to all the information that we have. And we have Deputy Directors Steve Carter, Parks and Facilities Management. We have our Recreation Leisure Services Deputy Director, Wanda Ramos. And this is Commissioner Dorner. We also have our Acting Deputy Director for Administration and Development, Len Pettiford, in the back. Thank you. We also, I believe he is here, the Chief of Park Police, Jermaine Haywood. Chief Haywood, are you here? Nope. But he'll also have access to all the information. We also, I believe, have some members of the Parks and Rec Advisory Board here. They're appointed by their community members who are appointed and who advocate on behalf of the community on Parks and Rec services issues. Are there any Parks and Rec Advisory Board members here? If you could stand and wave, or at least just wave. Thank you. Glad you're here. Thank you both. Appreciate your involvement and your commitment to public service. So now I'm going to introduce Terry Bacot-Charles, who's the Corporate Budget Director. We're going to hear a brief overview of the Commission's budget in the county, and then we'll move this along. Terry Bacot-Charles.
Good evening. And again, I want to echo a thank you for attending the first of two budget forums. We at the Commission have begun the early work to formulate a budget. As you well know, a budget is a formal resource plan for next year's operations, which would be fiscal year 2026. Again, your input now, today, is most welcome and most timely, as the Commission consistently strives to be good stewards. I will present a very short overview of the Commission to hopefully lend some context. And as noted here, The next forum is scheduled on Wednesday, October 2nd, and it will be conducted virtually. Next slide, please. Captured here is just a brief reminder of who we are. We are a bi-county agency created in 1927 by the General Assembly. We serve Prince George's and Montgomery counties. The Prince George's operations include, as noted already, the Planning Department and the Department of Parks and Recreation, and both are overseen by the Prince George's Planning Board. Next slide, please. Our services are available to the nearly 950,000 residents of this great county. Next slide. As shown here, we daily work to enhance our community by providing and maintaining award-winning, excellent parks and offering a plethora of recreational opportunities. We also serve the community by engaging in land use planning to manage growth and protect and steward natural, cultural, and historic resources. Next slide. This first pie chart here shows the current year's budget and how the services provided are funded. Of the nearly $513 million in budgeted revenues, property taxes are the main revenue source, and as shown here, that's $383 million. In fact, if we exclude the use of reserves, property tax actually provides 91% of our budget. The current property tax rate is 29.4 cents per $100 of assessed value for real property and 73.5 cents for personal property. It's very important for all of us to note those rates have not changed in the past 8 years. They've been at that rate since 2016. Next slide, please. This slide provides, on average, the cost to our county homeowners. That goes in support of providing all of our recreation park and planning services delivered by the commission. The calculation used here is the county's residential assessable base divided by the number of property counts. Based on data that was available July 2024, the average annual cost is just shy of $1,200, which works out to $3.28 a day. Next slide, please. This slide is wonderful. It is truly a pictorial of your tax investment because what it shows is the commission's inventory of diverse facilities that are operated within this county on behalf of our community. As noted here, the county's park acreage is 33,365, and we also have numerous athletic fields, community centers, miles of trails, hundreds of playgrounds, tennis and pickleball courts, historic sites, an equestrian center, and even an airport. Next slide. Now, with these next two slides, we are going to proudly share just a few of our capital improvement program highlights. As you can see here, the rebuild of the Marlow Heights Community Center is underway and looking great. The next community center replacement is the Good Luck Community Center. As also shown here, many sports courts over the past year have been upgraded. This includes the Palmer Park Community Center and the Fairland Pickleball Courts. We also invite you and your dog to stop by one of our new dog parks at Riverview or Kentland Community Center. Next slide, please. Again, here are more pictures that depict and capture the constant activity underway, albeit for new sites or renewals. We celebrate the brand new park at Canner Creek. We upgraded the Watkins trains. We replaced 5 playgrounds. We completed the indoor track replacement at the Sports and Learning Complex. We upgraded 3 athletic fields, and we completed improvements to the Southern Area Aquatics Complex. Next slide, please. Now this slide just provides a sample of planning highlights. In the past fiscal year, the Planning Department continues to produce high-quality work to further the goals and objectives of Plan 2035. This includes multiple studies like those shown on the screen here. Southern Avenue Metro Station Pedestrian Accessibility Study, and the adoption of the sectional map for Bowie, Mitchellville, and vicinity. Next slide. Now to begin to wrap up, here's the other side of the budget equation. We talked about revenues, now let's talk about the pie chart that shows how the funds are allocated for spending. The current year's operating budget is $559.6 million, and most of that budget is geared or allocated in support of park and recreation services. In fact, it totals to about 77%. And that includes the expenditures for the capital projects and related debt service. Next slide. This slide provides a summary of our current year capital budget, which is at $142.4 million, and the adopted capital improvement program, which spans the years FY25 through FY30, that totals $382 million. This year's capital budget is one of our highest to date, and it reflects not only cost increases, but it reflects the fact that the Commission's inventory continues to grow and the existing infrastructure continues to age. So as you can see, nearly half of the program goes to support infrastructure maintenance projects, and the other half provides for new construction to address critical needs. Next slide. This slide provides you a picture of the typical budget cycle. So it takes you through budget development through adoption, with the beginning of our next fiscal year always starting July 1st. So very quickly, it is a 12-month process. We begin planning in July and August. In September and October, we hold public budget forums like tonight. We also seek guidance from the Spending Affordability Committee of the county and the planning boards in the months of October and November. And then we find ourselves in December, where we again meet with the Spending Affordability Committee, and at that point, the Commission adopts the proposed budget, which is then submitted to the County Council and the Executive by January 15th. Their budget hearings and meetings occur typically in February and March, and then the County Executive sends their budget recommendation to the Council in March, and we meet with Council in April and May to defend our budget. And then in May also, there's a joint county council for commission-wide items. And then we find ourselves celebrating council adoption in May and the commission's following adoption in June. So that is taking you through the full budget cycle. Next slide. This slide again provides just a snapshot of what we've already discussed is our main revenue source. And what you can see is that our trend shows that the growth performance has been steady and moderate. And we are anticipating the continuation of that for FY 2026. Next slide. This is the final budget slide, and it just speaks to the Commission's continued commitment to deliver award-winning services with a particular emphasis, as noted, for FY 26. As the chair already indicated, it is definitely a community-focused budget. And what we are committed to doing is continuing to be fiscally responsible and responsive. So when the FY 26 budget proposal is adopted in December, you can be assured that it will properly balance community needs with the alignment of available fiscal resources. Next slide, please. That completes the plan overview presentation. Hopefully you have gained a better sense of the Commission, its services, and its budget, and we now truly look forward to receiving your valuable input, and we again thank you for participating in tonight's forum.
Thank you, Budget Director Pico Charles. That was well done. I appreciate that. Now we will hear from you all, the community. So just some brief guidelines on how we will move forward, and these guidelines are actually posted on the website, and you certainly will have access to them anytime you need. We'll ask you to limit your remarks to 3 minutes. There'll be, I think there's a light. Is there a yellow and red light? There. 30 seconds before your time, if you go up to 3 minutes, 30 seconds before your time is up, a yellow light will come on. So that means time to wrap up, and then a red light and chime will signal that your time is up. So please conclude your remarks at that time. You'll have, again, up to 3 minutes. If you have more comments to add, though, or additional thoughts later, we will be accepting written comments until the close of business on Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. So plenty of time for us to get written comments as well. You can submit them by mail, fax, email. All this is shown on the screen before you. So we'll now begin the public testimony part of the forum. I'm going to call participants in the order in which they have registered. I'm going to ask, I'll read folks' names 2 at a time. So one person can come up and the other person can be prepared to come up right afterwards. Or if they're family members, because I see a few family members, feel free to come up as a family if that makes more sense for you too. And we'll work the microphone accordingly. So with that, let me go through the list. We will start with James Johns and then Aaron Northrop. And I actually see an Aiden Hamilton Northrop, so we'll say James Johns, Aaron Northrop, and Aiden Hamilton Northrop. And the other 2 of you are on backup after Mr. Johns goes. And if you could introduce yourself for the record, and you'll see the timer in front of you. You have up to 3 minutes, sir, and glad you're here. Take it away.
Good evening, Chair Shapiro and members of the planning board. My name is James Johns.
Mr. Johns, hold on 1 sec, just for technology. Mike's okay?
Yeah, mic needs to be a little closer, please. Thanks.
All right, is it better?
Yes,
All right,
thank you.
cool.
Thank you, Mr. Johns.
My name is James Johns. I'm a 47-year resident of Prince George's County and a 40-year user of the Wells Ice Rink. When I started skating there was only 3 rinks in the county. They were Bowie, Tucker Road, and Wells. Of those rinks, 2 of them were and are still run by Park and Rec, Tucker Road and Wells. When I started skating at Wells and Tucker Road, they were both outdoor rinks with a roof over them. The rink at Wells had chain link fence around it. It was completely open. Over the years, there's been some minor modifications and rebuilding. We now have windscreens up. They don't do enough. Fast forward to today, I'm a coach. I have 3 boys who play hockey, learned to play hockey, learned to skate, made friends, had their first jobs at the rink. So we're very well invested in this. With the rink not being fully enclosed, there are several issues. First off, the rink has to close during the summer. So during the summer, we have skaters who leave and go to other facilities because they don't have nowhere to skate. We don't have ice as soon as some of the other clubs, whether it's hockey or figure skating. That sets us back. Also with that, without it being open, we have issues of condensation on the glass. I took pictures this past Tuesday night at our practice. I didn't get a chance to send them in, but pictures of the glass where you can't see the players on the ice because of the condensation. Of the over 1,400 facilities and the hundreds, if not thousands, of programs available to the youth of the county, Wells is the only facility where parents and spectators don't have a guarantee of being able to see their child play or see an event go on. We've had parents who have taken the windshield wipers off their cars to come in and wipe the windows so they could try to see the game. There's times where it creates a fog, and we've had to stop games because it's not safe. Not to mention, the issues with the ice that we have with it. So I would like to stress that the planning board finds money to enclose the building, if nothing else, just to make it safer for everybody. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, we have Aaron Northrop and Aiden Hamilton Northrop.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And feel free with both chairs if you want, if that's helpful.
So my name's Erin Northrop, and I want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight about our experience with Herbert Wells Ice Rink. My child, Eden Hamilton Northrop, who is next on the agenda, has been ice skating at Wells since they were 4 years old when their nursery school went there for an event. Since that time, Aiden has become a super enthusiastic ice skater. They've had birthday parties at the ice rink, and then this year they've just recently joined the 10 and under ice hockey team at Wells. We would love to be able to skate at Wells year-round, and so we're here to ask you to consider allocating funding to enclose the ice rink so it can be used year-round. Over the summer, Aiden, again, is super enthusiastic about ice skating, so went to 2 weeks of ice skating camp and brought along a friend of theirs. For one of those weeks, we would have loved to be able to support Wells with the cost of camp registration and to keep that funding in Prince George's County, but because the closest ice rink where we could find a summer camp that was available was in Montgomery County. That's where we went for summer camp, but again, would really love to be able to go to Wells year-round. The other reason that we love Wells is that it's a very diverse place to skate, and it's been a really supportive place for Aiden to learn about ice hockey. When Aiden started taking beginning ice hockey classes last year, we didn't have all the gear for ice hockey. It takes a lot of gear, and the coaches were really supportive and helped us to understand all the gear that we needed, and even to get some of that from the kind of storehouse of gear that other players have outgrown, and we've since kind of donated to that when Aiden's outgrown gear. So it's been a really supportive place to learn about how to play ice hockey. And I also would like to say that Wells is an unusually affordable place to skate. As I understand that it's the only rink in the area that's metro accessible, so it's accessible in a lot of ways in terms of cost and in terms of access by metro. So in short, we've spent a lot of time at Wells over the last 5+ years, and we'd love to be able to spend more if it were open year-round for ice skating. So just would like to encourage you to consider allocating the funding to enclose the rink. Also because it'd be safer for kids who are there during the winter time, because it wouldn't become foggy the way that it does, the way that the previous speaker spoke about as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Aiden Hamilton Northrop.
Hello, my name is Aiden Hamilton Northrop. I actually started playing ice hockey when I was around 8 years old. I went to Future Capsing, but that was at Bowie, around 30 to 32 minutes away. So again, like my mom said, I would really want to go to Wells for that because I don't know why, it's just I grew up going to Wells, so I feel like Wells is just a better win for me. And for me, ice skating just makes me feel better, like it relieves stress for me. So when I come home from school and I'm really stressed because I have a lot of work to do, I would either want to go to the pool, which will definitely not be open during the school year, and I probably won't be able to go to an indoor pool because, most of the indoor pools are a little ways away. And so I would probably have to go ice skating. But if you're like me and you get home around like 5 to 5:30 from school, you wouldn't have a lot of time to do homework and go to the ice rink. So I usually go on the weekends, and that's basically it. So I would really like to have more time to skate during the summer, and to make sure I don't lose my skills. And I would also have another thing to wrap my parents out about, so I can admit that tonight.
And you're giving us some thoughts that maybe we should be ice skating. Next, we have Michael Metz and Baron Metz. And we got a third one too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's just my sister.
Is it okay if she comes up too?
Yeah, so she doesn't really want to speak.
I understand, all right. We'll give it a
Can I
try.
stand? Okay, stand. Here we go. All right, cool. Just say Omaha.
Omaha.
All right. Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Michael Metz. Ronnie's over there, we moved to the county in 2016, and we could have moved anywhere in the United States, but we chose Prince George's County because it's close to a couple cities, really good employment options, it's affordable, and we love living around diverse voices. Today, one of the things that confirms we made the right choice is the excellent local park system. Our kids go to summer camp over at Fairland, where they learn to swim and do cartwheels. We did judo and soccer over at the community center on Pierce Ave, and they learn to skate, pass the puck, and shoot at Wells Ice Arena. Hockey is a great sport for kids. Not only is it one of the few sports you can play regularly in the wintertime, but it also teaches patience and self-reliance. This guy used to get so frustrated when he was putting on his gear, but now he hauls it in from the car and he's mostly dressed before I can even offer to help. First rule of hockey is?
Carry your own stuff.
That's right. Even if you're 8. So, we love the friendship and chatter in the locker rooms after practice or a game, and you can usually find the Wells Warriors over at the Silver Diner on the weekends. Team lunch. Wells Ice Arena is the only rink I can think of that's located walking distance to a major metro stop. I mean, except for Capital One Arena, which is about 10 stops down on the Green Line. It's very affordable through the Parks and Rec, and there's a big trailer full of hockey gear that's available to borrow. And Wells provides access to all for everyone that wants to learn hockey or figure skating. Speaking for myself, with 2 kids playing, I couldn't afford to send them to Laurel Gardens Ice House. It's too expensive with the fees. And Tucker Road is way at the other end of the county from us. It's about a 45-minute drive from our house in Laurel. And as it is now, however, Wells is open to the elements, and if you head over there tomorrow and you look up through the net, you can actually see crepe myrtle blossoms right over the seating area, separated only by that net. Other teams in Bowie, Frederick, and Laurel, they start practicing in August, and they've already played their first games. When it rains, there's fog on the ice, and the referees determine whether the game is safe to continue, and they've actually canceled games last year because they decided that it wasn't. Now, because the season is shorter and the teams aren't as competitive because of this, the best young players often leave for the expensive private programs that they find elsewhere. So, I love College Park, I love this area. There's the tennis center, there's the aviation museum, there's a disc golf course, I see it. There's the golf course is a couple miles away. Parking at the Metro stop makes it super easy to get into DC, and the Purple Line will open up access for even more people. So let's keep up the investment in the community going by putting up permanent insulated walls at Wells Ice Arena. Thank you very much. I'll cede my time to the gentleman from Laurel.
Okay, so Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and everyone else, thank you for letting me speak tonight. The bald guy over there is my dad, and my name is Baron Metz. I go to Wells Ice Arena and play on the Wells Warriors hockey team. Now, I really enjoy playing the game and enjoy skating. The community at Wells is very nice, and the coaches focus on fun a lot. But there's one problem with playing at Wells. As other people have mentioned, the Wells Ice Arena does not have any walls. Although it would be expensive to get walls for Wells, it would mean more money for the public park system and more ice time for everyone. Now, let me explain. If there were walls for Wells, we would be able to skate during spring, fall, and summer, meaning the additional fees would be more money for public parks, and it would also mean more ice time. Now, also, if there were walls for Wells, it would allow the temperature for ice at spring. Well, ice at summer, I meant. And if there was ice at summer, it would mean that both the ice hockey team and figure skating team, I play on the ice hockey team, to have a summer camp. Therefore, the fees from the summer camp would also mean more money for the public park system. Plus, there would be plenty of friends on the Wells ice hockey team I could think of I'd like to meet up with during summer at a summer camp. Now, also, there would be a pool for the summer camp. And frankly, if I could skate and swim at a summer camp, you'd have to fight me to make me not go. So, to sum it all up, if you got Walls for Wells, it would mean more ice time for everyone, a summer camp for skating, hockey, or figure skating, and more money for the public park system.
Could you, young man, could you introduce your sister and have her say a word or two?
She doesn't want to.
Next, we have Olivia Nickel and Vivian Nickel.
All right, hello. My name is Olivia Nickel.
And Ms. Nickel, I know that was a tough act to follow.
Hello, my name is Olivia Nickel. I am 17 and I have been skating at Herbert Wells Ice Rink since I was only a year old. I am on the figure skating team, a junior coach, and always in the ice show. I think of Wells as my second home, at least from October through April. Not only do I skate at Wells, but I am also a lesson instructor and a rink guard. Every Monday night and Saturday morning during the season, you can find me at Wells sharing my love of skating with my community and the next generation of skaters. We have over 300 students in our lesson programs. I think of them as my extended family, and I'm excited to see them every winter. Often I get to teach the tots. Those little guys are so cute, and they enjoy learning to skate so much. Watching them improve brings me joy, and they gain skill and confidence quickly until they can't anymore, until it gets too warm and the rink shuts down because Wells doesn't have walls. Then the skating stops, the learning and the community stops. Most of my students don't skate during the summer. Two of the major reasons are location and cost. Well, because Wells is part of the MNCPC, people can afford the lessons. Other rinks are far too expensive. And since it is the only rink accessible by Metro Rail, even families without cars can get to the rink easily. No other rink can offer this. I would like to tell you about this year. I am a senior, and I look forward to all of the major events seniors participate in, all of the last moments of childhood. But most of all, I look forward to my last ice show at Wells. I skated in my first ice show, Peter Pan, when I was barely 2 years old, and I have done every show since. This year we are doing Peter Pan again, and I am beyond excited. Almost 1,000 people watched or skated in last year's show, and since my best friend and I are both seniors and known to bring a crowd, I think there will be more this year. But I am worried. The rink is reaching the end of its life. The floors and pipes are old, and without walls, keeping the rink cool is a challenge. If it rains, there's fog, which makes a nice scene for Neverland, but in reality can be dangerous for those on the ice. Moguls or humps can form from the condensation dripping, and sometimes when it's warm, the ice is too soft for us to jump and land safely. I love my rink, but it needs some work. I am worried that a catastrophic failure is in sight. 2 other local rinks that are about the same age have already had their floors fail. I hope this doesn't happen to Wells this year. I hope that Peter Pan can in fact be performed. That is why I am here. I am asking the commission to help keep Wells running year-round. I am asking you all to give walls to Wells. My hope is that those little tots who have so much fun will get a senior year show at our favorite rink. I am also here to extend an invitation to you all to come and see my family and I skate. Come and see our community. Come and see why I love Wells so much and why the walls are important. As I mentioned, this year's ice show is Peter Pan. We are performing April 12th and 13th. I hope to see you there because, as the song says, I know a place where dreams are born and time is never planned. No, it is not on any chart. You must find it with your heart. Never, never land. And for me, that is Wells Ice Arena. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Vivian Nickel. I am 14 years old, and like my sister, I have been skating at Herbert Wells Ice Arena since I was 1. I am here to talk to you about the Wells figure skating team. We are a group of competitive skaters who call the Wells Ice Rink home from October to April. Our team is really a collection of teams. We have grown from a single team to a larger program with 3 synchro teams and a theater on ice team. we have gone from doing only local competitions to competing all over the U.S. In prior years, I skated in Tennessee, Illinois, Florida, Virginia, and Ohio. In this past year, I have skated in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and this summer, even in California. Everywhere I go, I wear my Wells jacket and represent College Park, Maryland, Prince George's County, and MNC PPC. I love my team, and we do well at these competitions, but sometimes we are at a major disadvantage. You see, our rink doesn't have walls. The lack of walls causes many problems. In addition to the ice not being skatable sometimes, we can't practice during the summer. The Wells community has to disperse, and for those of us who still skate, this means doing it at a different rink. This may not seem like a big deal, but really it is. First of all, the cost at other rinks are much higher. Many people can't afford it. I am one of 4 daughters, and all of us skate. You don't see that anywhere other than Wells. It is literally just too expensive to do anywhere else. Our family is very lucky to have found this community. Also, the lack of walls means our teams are always at a disadvantage. While other teams can practice over the summer, we can't. Our families can't afford to rent ice at private rinks, so before the season gets started, we are already behind. As I mentioned, our team is growing, but the lack of walls makes this hard to do. Every winter, the community grows, and in April, after months of practice, we have an ice show. So many people come, and everyone gets excited. Families get to see what Wells has to offer, and many of them want to start skating. They come in and call and ask about lessons and the team. And all of them have to be told, we are sorry, our season is ending, and we won't be able to start again until next fall. Last year, we had a great year. Our ice show was in Kanto, and I had the lead role. At the end, so many people were excited to skate. And I really hope they all come back, but they probably won't since the summer. I hope our community can grow again, and this is why I am asking you to give Wells walls. Please help us to skate this year, to skate now.
Thank you. Next we have Wade Barnes and then Billy Schulman.
Hello, everyone. I'm Wade Barnes. I'm here to
Excuse me. Could you get closer to the mic? Thank you.
to lend my support for Walls for Wells. I like that. Wells Ice Rink is more than just a place to skate. For me, I look at it as the WWF, which is the Wells Warriors family. Since my son started skating when he was 9, he's 15 now, and he refuses to go anywhere else but Wells. He's been offered other places because since there's no ice in the summer, we go to other places to keep his skills up. And when we go to these other places, they see that he has skills and they want to basically offer him positions on other teams. But he refuses to go anywhere else because Wells is a place that you can go and develop and learn. What's most important is for us to understand that, there's so much talk about walls for dividing people. In this case, we have these walls which will unite people, which will bring this community together. It's sort of like at a certain point in summertime, everybody has to leave, and they all end up going to different places, and a lot of them don't come back. Those are opportunities for that community to develop and grow, and there, as I said before, there's lots of opportunities for revenues and such to be remaining in the county that we are losing. Keep in mind that it is also a safety issue, but we want to make sure that the ice does not melt, so we don't have moguls and things of that nature that are going to either damage the players or make it hard for them to participate. Again, I'm here to thank you for listening. I appreciate all the things you guys do, And I know that you're looking out for our best interest, and we're here to support you on whatever you decide to do. And again, thanks for listening. And I hope that you get Walls for Wells. Thank you.
Billy Schulman and then Felicity Black. Billy Schulman. We have Billy Schulman, Felicity Black, and then Jordan Brown. Is there Felicity Black? Oh. You're going to need to bring that right up to her.
Good evening. My name is Felicity Black and I'm 8 years old. I want to ask you to propose Wells ice skating rink because I'm going to be doing synchro ice skating this year. And I really want to get lots and lots of practice because I'm going to be my first time. And summer is a good time to get better and better because you aren't doing school all day. Also, I'm in Gamma ice skating and I've been there all winter and had to stop because the summer was summer, and I was hoping I would be in freestyle level by now, but I keep not being able to practice enough to get better before winter ends. I also want to include it because my brother's on the hockey team, and one of the games was too foggy to play. Parents from other teams had driven from far away and were angry that they drove so long to come to a rink, and then couldn't even play a game. They were very annoyed at us and it made me feel embarrassed. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you choose to close our rink so we can have a facility that's the same as all other kids.
Next we have Jordan Brown and then Nicholas Limbaris.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak today. My name is Jordan Brown, and I am a senior from the Hart Christian School. I've been a proud member of Herbert Wells Ice Rink team for nearly 10 years and have advocated 4 times before this board for walls at Wells. These walls are crucial for not just our team, but for the entire community, providing a safe and affordable space for fun and unique activities. As we get ready for our first competition on November 2nd, we face challenges because our ice availability has been limited while other teams are able to practice all summer. We travel as close as Virginia and sometimes as far as California during competition season, representing our community proudly wherever we go. With a year-round facility, we could train more effectively and improve our performance. The warmth of Wells sets it apart from all other facilities. And no, I'm not talking about the warm air that comes in through the currently open ceilings. I've come to cherish this warmth that creates a supportive environment where every skater is uplifted and encouraged to do their best. Our rink is not just for the team, it's a beloved community space. The joy and connection shared among friends and family is something only seen at Wells. At our annual ice shows, I get to spend time with skaters young and old and feel their joy and happiness just to be on the ice. However, there's always a bittersweet feeling during the show, knowing that soon the ice will be melted and we'll have to wait for September to skate again together. Walls for Wells would allow us to hold more events like the show and continue nurturing our talents. With your support, as others have said before, Wells can become more than just a place for a sport in the winter. I got my first job there, and I learned about perseverance and self-confidence from the coaches and the supportive family. So thank you for considering making this vision a reality.
Next we have Nicholas Limbaris and Inessa Limbaris-Vinakova.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Nicholas Limbaris. I'm here to represent more Walls for Wells. I think everybody at this point has kind of driven home the point of why it's important to them, and as an adult, it's less impactful than the kids. So I'm going to try to keep this short. it's important to me to have a facility like Wells because my youngest has been skating at that rink before they were even able to run. So, it's been a home for them, a place that they can go, a place they feel safe. I've been a county resident for, a very long time. I moved here during college when I was attending the University of Maryland, and it was, it's been a lovely place to be, and we haven't wanted to leave the county. The biggest thing for me is that having the facility enclosed would allow the kids that enjoy going there to be able to continue to develop their skills. When we go to other rinks during the summer, getting to Tucker Road, it's a beautiful facility, but it's not easy to get to. It's a long trip. It's 45 minutes under the best driving conditions. You all live here, so you know that's not normal to have the best driving conditions. But the real key with that is it's also not accessible by public transit. There is no bus that even goes to the facility. It's a 25-minute walk from the closest bus stop. So having public transit access to a facility like Wells is exceedingly important to communities that tend to be underserved. I would love to be able to take public transit to Tucker Road, but it's not possible where it is possible for Wells. The thing that I'm going to leave off on here is that, the facility, it matters to the community. We see how important it is for the development of these kids. It's a facility that is incredibly welcoming, especially for kids who don't fit the mold of what you see at the Olympics. These kids are wonderful skaters and do a beautiful job of attending. We win competitions, and even then, we lose out on the ability to be there all year. So I'm going to leave off with Balls for Wells.
Thank you. Inessa Limperis-Vinicova, and then Deetra Scott.
Hello, my name is Inessa Limperis-Vinicova, and I am here for Walls for Wells. Surprising, I know. I've been skating at Wells since I was 2. So longer than I can remember, because I don't remember stuff from when I was 2. I've been in part of the team since I was very young. Seeing as I've been skating at Wells I'm 14 now, so do the math yourself. There's not enough time for me to do the math right. So I'm here to tell you about why I love Wells. One, it's very welcoming. I feel like I'm able to express myself through different routines. I've done routines to Careless Whisper with a giant inflatable saxophone. Felt perfectly comfortable doing that because it's my family. I've grown up with these people. During the peak of the season, I usually spend much more time at the rink than I even do in my own house. It's really important to me, and without Wells, I just don't feel whole. It's become a part of me, a part of my character, a part of my personality, and I want to see other kids flourish and be welcome the same way I did when I was younger. But there is a problem. We don't have ice in the summer, and for most of the year, we have issues with fog and mobiles. I remember during last year's ice show, which was Moana, I tripped on a mobile trying to land a jump, and I dislocated my shoulder. These are dangerous, and I don't want to see other kids get hurt. But there is a way to solve this issue. Walls for Wells will enclose the rink, allowing both a safer experience, better viewing for adults and other family members, and more revenue for PG Parks.
Next we have Teacher Scott, and then Mariella McElhenney, and I believe we have a Gwyneth McElhenney as well. So if the McElhenneys want to come up together after Ms. Scott.
Hi, my name is Teacher Scott, and I'm a mother of 4, 3 of whom skate at Wells. They started out as the tots that Olivia, that they taught all these ladies, and they were immediately embraced. I guess you could tell that that it's a community just by the show up here. I was excited to see all the Parks and Rec services that you all have, especially the capital investments projects. Made me hopeful that we'll be the next one that you will invest in. I just wanted to talk about a life-changing book that I recently read by Heather McGhee called The Sum of Us. And it was about what racism costs our society and how we can prosper together. And one of the top strategies that she mentioned was the investment in and use of Parks and Recs. And I can see here, and that's what happened with my kids. Like, they didn't know anything about ice skating. They signed up for one ice skating class with the tots, and they just kept coming back. The girls wanted to figure skate. They wanted to do the show with Encanto. They wanted to do competitive. The teen moms had hair tools for black girls in the dressing room. They gave my son, you don't see that. I didn't have to ask for that. I didn't have to have my own stuff. And that's important. And it felt good. They gave my son a nickname on the ice hockey team. Now he wants to learn all about ice hockey, and he's watching it on TV and learning the rules. So I see some of his teammates are here today. How much time do I have left? What else do I want to say about it? Just, it's an inclusive and nurturing environment. We don't want to go anywhere else. Over the summer, they've been patiently waiting to get back on the ice, and they could go to Tucker Road, but that's far. It's very far. Wells is home now. It's close to home, it's accessible, it's affordable, and it's a community. So hopefully, it'll be a community that doesn't have to disband every summer. Thank you.
We have Mariella and Gwyneth McElhenney.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Mariella McElhenney, and like every single other person who came up here, I'm speaking for Wells for Wells. I am 14 years old, and I've been skating at Wells for a very long time. I'm currently on the Open Juvenile Synchronized Skating team, and I'm planning on doing solos also. Building a new rink or constructing walls around the current one would give families activities to do over the summer and would bring many visitors to the public skate sessions. People are already drawn to the elements in Splash Park during the summer and would enjoy another opportunity to cool down and entertain themselves. Making Wells an indoor rink would also greatly benefit the teams such as mine who practice there. Among these are the multiple Sparkling Blade synchronized skating teams, many age levels of Wells Warrior hockey teams, the UMD synchronized skating team, and countless individual programs. These skaters would no longer have to drive very far away during the summer, paying other rinks money that could be spent here just for the privilege to skate. I know during the spring, I skate sometimes every single day in March and April, and then that dwindles down to about 0 to 1 days during the summer at Gardens or Tucker Road. Planning to construct Wells would not only benefit the skaters and families familiar to Wells, but would contribute to the whole county. If the rink was open during the summer, Learn to Skate lessons would be able to continue, as would public sessions, themed skate nights, and many other things. It would allow people dedicated to skating to stay at our rink the whole year. Paying for the construction of an indoor rink would pay for itself, giving the county more funds to create more recreational activities for the community. Thank you, and Wells for Wells.
Gwyneth McElhenney.
Hello, I'm here to represent Walls for Wells and talk about why Wells should have walls. In my personal opinion, Wells should be an indoor rink because it would help everyone. It would attract more people, it would gain more money, and it would help quite a few people get a job if Wells is open all year long. Wells being open year-round would also let us hang out together all year long. It is the closest rink to our house and many of the homes of the people on the teams at Wells, including the synchronized skating teams and the hockey teams too. Every summer, we have to spend the money to skate elsewhere like Bowie, ice rink, or gardens, when we could be earning money for Wells. Today during practice, we had to wait a little because the ice was so wet that it was way too watery for ice to be. During practice, there are sometimes drips that come down from the ceiling like it's raining. I have been ice skating at Wells since before kindergarten, and we would love to spend more time at Wells. Wells is better for me because I know people there and I feel more comfortable and connected to Wells rather than Bowie or Gardens. So please help Wells and give us the opportunity to have an indoor rink. Thank you.
I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I see two more Nichols. We have a Nadia Nickel and a Christine Nickel. Go ahead, Ms. Nickel.
Hello, my name is Nadia Nickel, and I am 11 years old. I am here as a member of the Wells figure skating team asking you for Wells for Wells. Wells is my second home. I basically grew up there. In fact, I actually took my first steps in the rink and began skating when I was only 13 months old. If you have seen any of the Wells ice shows, I was probably in it. Last year, I was Peppa in Encanto. I love to ice skate, and Wells is definitely my favorite place to skate. The coaches and skaters there are my family, and other skaters are my friends. I am practicing almost every day in the winter, but when summer comes, I have to stop skating at Wells because we do not have walls. Luckily, I have my parents make sure I can continue skating, mostly at Tucker Road. But for many kids, this is not an option. I have friends, teammates, in fact, who don't get to skate all summer, and their parents can't afford private rinks in the area. Tucker Road is just too far and is not accessible. I will lose my friends will lose their skills, and some don't come back at all. I also miss the coaches and staff. I do see Miss Wendy, but that's about it. I do not like this, and it makes me really sad. If Wells had walls, I could see my friends and coaches all year round, and I could skate with them in the summer. My friends would not lose their skills, and I could go back to my favorite place and see my favorite people. Please give Wells. And before I go, can I ask everyone who's here supporting Wells, please stand. Thank you.
Ms. Nickel, I assume you're responsible for all this?
Maybe just a little. Okay. Hi, my name is Christine Nickel, and I'm here representing the Wells figure skating team and asking the commission to consider enclosing or replacing the Herbert Wells ice rink. For many years now, I have been coming to these meetings and asking for Wells. I've also spoken with Councilman Eric Olson to get his support. Tonight, you have already heard about the vibrant community that exists with Wells and how it all stops in April. You've heard how the Warriors and the figure skaters and the community is affected. Now I'd like to provide you with a little more perspective. Perspective both on the ability for Wells to operate and on future missed opportunities. Herbert Wells Ice Rink is reaching the end of its life. We fear that a catastrophic failure similar to what happened at Talbot County and Bowie Ice Rinks is going to happen at Wells, leaving our program scrambling to find ice. The facility will fail sometime in the near future. The cost of preventative maintenance is always less than an emergency repair. Wells needs to be enclosed or rebuilt before this happens. As you know, Wells is a thriving community. However, we only operate 6 months and the community falls apart in April, just after the ice show, when interest in skating soars. Countless requests for lessons and hockey programs are informed that they will have to wait until November or go elsewhere. The lack of summer programming is opportunities for growth at Wells that can't be realized. Summer camps, classes, shows, and competitions would provide revenue streams that over time could offset the cost of the renovation. As others have mentioned, our teams are growing and people are noticing. The Wells Figure Skating team competes all over the U.S. at ISI competitions, and we have made ourselves known. This summer, while my family was competing in California, the national organization that we skate under made a special request. They asked Herbert Wells to host a national competition in the fall of 2025. They asked our rink because they had been impressed with our program and our growth. ISI originally asked for the competition to be held in September. Without Walls, we had to tell them that that was not possible. They agreed to move the date to November, and so we considered it. The skating director and team management thought long and hard about hosting a competition. Would the ice be okay? We were fairly confident, but then we had another idea. One many of you have suggested in the past. Let Wells host it, but at Tucker Road. Sounds great, right? Well, ISI turned us down. They want the competition at Wells and only at Wells. So we are moving forward. This is a wonderful opportunity. Skaters from all over the country will come to Prince George's County. They will stay in our hotels, eat at our restaurants, and bring revenue that otherwise would go elsewhere. These competitions tend to cycle through regions. The last one held in the Mid-Atlantic was 2018 at Piney Orchard. They would like to have them here more often, and they would like to have them hosted at Wells. Hopefully the weather is good and the ice stays hard and the rink doesn't fog. Hopefully the floor doesn't fail. Hopefully we can make a good impression, and this will be the first of many opportunities for Wells in the county. MNC PPC strives for greatness, and so do we. Please help us keep the Wells skaters on the ice year-round. Please give us Walls. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Nickel. Next we have Victoria Guavaja and Emily Gill.
Victoria not here? I think Victoria had something.
Okay. Then Emily Gill and Trey Proctor. Ms. Gill?
Thank you. I'm Emily Gill. I am an 11-year resident of College Park, Maryland. Unlike probably the majority of people here, I have been 100% terrified of ice skating my whole entire life. Saw no interest in it. Thought, why would I do that to myself and just fall on the ice repeatedly? But as a parent, we all find ourselves with children who challenge us. And my daughter became obsessed with ice skating. As a College Park resident, of course, our first place to go was Herbert Wells Ice Rink. Since she became so obsessed with it, my daughter Jocelyn here, it became very apparent that I needed to learn how to ice skate, and soon. Otherwise, I would just spend, the rest of my life, until 70, sitting on the sidelines. So I've started taking classes at Herbert Wells as well. Again, I have a little bit of anxiety about it. Every time I get back on the ice, it's scary. It's like learning how to walk again every single time. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. That's why it was so disappointing when I went to sign up for another adult ice skating lesson, and it was so popular, there was no way to get in. And they said, well, everybody, all the adults set up for the wait list. If we have enough people on the wait list, then we can get a second class to go as well. So we all went on the wait list, and they were able to get a second class, I think on Mondays and on Saturdays, but there was still even more adults who desperately wanted to learn how to ice skate. So I wasn't able to. I did sign up to be an Encanto with my daughter and was able to get a little ice time there. I would just say that in College Park, we don't have a lot of year-round opportunities. Through the county, we don't have our own indoor pool. Again, the ice rink is just half year long. Not all the families are connected with the university, and so we don't get the benefit of those amenities. So I would just say Walls for Wells. I would love to see it. I personally would benefit from it, as well as my daughter. And as someone who is a beginner and has fallen on the ice, my 43-year-old butt knows what it's like. And you know, I would like us to keep up the ice so that my whole entire family can benefit from it.
You want to introduce the boss? No?
Yeah, this is the boss, my daughter Jocelyn.
Hello, I'm Jocelyn. I'm the boss.
Thank you. Next we have the Mitchells, Jill Mitchell, Percy Mitchell, and I have a P. Mitchell.
It's only two.
Just two. Just two. Ms. Mitchell,
Good evening. It's nice to see everyone.
if you could take the microphone and put it right in front of you.
Sure will, so you guys can hear me. Good evening, everyone.
And Ms. Mitchell, I hate to do it, but even closer.
Oh, wow. Okay. How about better?
Much better.
Much better. Good evening. My name is Jill Mitchell, and I represent the PG County Senior Tennis Coalition, a group of over 75 tennis enthusiasts who play at Watkins and Casca Regional Park. We have recently been in discussions with PG County Parks and Recreation officials regarding rate increases for both facilities. During those discussions, we learned that the bubbles are part of the enterprise fund.
Ms. Mitchell, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yes.
staff is asking you to, if you could just bring it even closer to you, just take the whole thing and carry it over to you.
All right.
There we go, now you're doing
Maybe I'll
great.
even speak louder.
Thanks, Ms. Mitchell, I appreciate it.
Okay.
We want to make sure that you're recorded and heard.
Perfect. During those discussions, we learned that both bubbles are part of the enterprise fund versus the recreation fund, like the Fairland tennis bubble located in the northern part of the county. As you know, the cost recovery goals for these two fund programs are quite different. Like the other facilities in the enterprise fund, Watkins and Casca have historically been unable to meet their recovery goals. However, outside of spot time, contracts, and future classes, these two indoor bubbles have no means of supplemental income due to the limited design and space they offer. There is no ability to sell merchandise on site, no ability to attract leasing opportunities via concessionaires, host tournaments leagues due to the lack of adequate observation areas and locker room accommodations for hosting events. Based on the design layout of the two bubbles, coupled with the limited sources of income, Watkins and Casca will never be able to meet the required recovery goal of 75% for the enterprise fund facilities. Another downside to the enterprise fund is that our real estate taxes do not assist facilities in this program. Our senior tennis population is affected twice in the current configuration, having to pay taxes and court fees to play indoors. Our goal this evening is for the Commission to strongly consider transferring both the Watkins and Casca tennis bubbles from the Enterprise Fund to the Recreation Fund program for FY26. This would allow the two facilities to meet their recovery goals based on the income generated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. And Mr. Mitchell.
He has a bigger voice.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Percy Mitchell of the Prince George's County Senior Tennis Coalition. There are 3 tennis bubbles in PG County: Fairland, Watkins, and Casca. However, only one of these is currently part of the Recreation Fund program, Fairland. I will share with you some of the benefits of also transferring Watkins and Casca to the Recreation Fund program. First, I want to remind the Commission that we are talking about a total of 9 courts between the 2 facilities. One of the discussions our seniors had with the Parks and Recreation officials recently was a focus group meeting designed to garner feedback from 20+ invited seniors regarding the proposed user fee increases that included a 65% increase for seniors. Leadership shared that the 2 bubbles were continually failing to meet budget, and significant increases in user fees were one of the ways to address the perpetual shortfalls. We were told that the department's objective was to improve overall cost recovery through market-appropriate program and rental fee adjustments, fee increases for daily admissions, and contract rate increases. The information shared was informative and led members of the coalition to propose an alternative to the rate increases that would negatively impact our senior tennis community, who are all on fixed incomes. As you are aware, the cost recovery goal for enterprise fund facilities is 75%. We learned that user fees and charges, along with merchandise sales and concessions, predominantly finance enterprise facilities. This is where the 2 indoor tennis bubbles fail to meet the criteria for the enterprise fund program. The bubbles are temporary structures that don't offer merchandise sales or concessions. Merchandise sales and concessions are significant components of the overall revenues for PG facilities such as ice rinks, golf courses, and Showplace Arena. Based on these facts, our coalition realized that Watkins and Costco tennis bubbles would be better served if they were transferred to the Recreation Fund with an obtainable cost recovery goal of 35%. The transfer to the Rec Fund would also ensure the affordability of indoor tennis for the senior tennis community moving forward. Lastly, this would enable our annual real estate tax payments to contribute to the revenues of the 2 facilities we patronize. In summary, with the proposed transfer, both Watkins and Costco tennis bubbles would meet budget with a recovery goal of 35%. In FY24, Watkins had a cost recovery of 73% and Costco 54%. The transfer would allow our many years of real estate tax payments to finally be used to supplement the vitally important activity that our senior tennis community has come to depend on for physical, emotional, and social benefits. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Next, we have Lola Tumaini. No? And 3 additional speakers. We have another James Jones. The 4th? 2nd? 4th. And then after that, we have Naomi Donovan and then Brandon Searles.
Hello, my name is James Johns. Thank you for letting me speak today. This year, I will play on the 18U grade team, which is part of the Wells Warriors Hockey Association. I've played at Wells ever since I was a little kid. While growing up playing, I've made bonds with friends that I still have, and they're my best friends to this day. 2 years ago, I decided to join a travel club. While the experience level was higher, there wasn't that family bond that Wells had. There wasn't any improvement for learning, it was just a higher level of skill. This past year, I made the decision that it was best for me to return to Wells to finish my youth hockey career. While during that year, the 18U Wells Warriors Select team played in 4 different tournaments. We won the Silver Sticks Regional Tournament, which was held in Laurel, which gave us a spot to try and win the championship in Ontario, Canada. Unfortunately, we lost, but we're hoping to be back again this year to take it. There's always been a fog issue at Wells ever since I've played. I've learned to adapt to it and for it to better my game. But it's becoming more of an issue now that the temperatures are rising in the winter, and there's more condensation on the benches and the ice, creating a struggle for the players to see and the parents to watch their kids grow. It has also become a struggle for me to be able to keep my skills up during the summertime when I have to travel 30 minutes away for a different rink with different kids that I don't have no idea who they are. If we get Walls for Wells, it'll continue to gain more skills and hopefully bring home more championships for both sides, hockey and figure skating. Thank you.
And finally, we have Naomi Donovan and then Brandon Searles.
Do I start?
You start. You start, Ms. Donovan.
I am here for Walls for Wells because Wells is awesome, obviously. And I made a lot of friends at Wells. Majority of my friends are from Wells. I mean, it's wonderful. But the it being outdoor with just a roof on it is not good. The pipes are old and stuff, which could lead to several problems. And also, the rain, I think, I don't really know what it is, but the rain drops in, I think, and it like builds little mounds on the ice, and then you trip on them when you're skating, and it doesn't end well, and they hurt a lot more. And it also makes the ice spiky, so when you fall, you land on a bunch of spikes, which hurts. And it would just be best if you let Wells have walls, because it's awesome. And I personally, don't tell my coach, but I didn't practice at all this summer. They told me to, and I am technically accessible to other rinks, but I didn't. So it would be a lot more beneficial if we had summer ice skating, because Monday was the first day all summer I actually ice skated, and I lost like majority of my skills. So it would be a lot more beneficial, and I have not been at Wells for that long. It's my third year at Wells, and it just really was really supportive, and I gave up a lot, but my coaches were always like, don't give up. And it was really just a really fun experience, and I hope we can do it over the summer. Thank you.
Everybody has to pinky swear that we won't tell Naomi's coach. Brandon Searles.
And I have to follow that. Good. I'm Brandon Searles, PG County resident for approximately 10 years now. I'm a father of 3 children, and I currently reside in Brandywine, Maryland. Unfortunately, my HOA decided to demolish the private park we had for the community over 2 years ago. We don't have a public park in Brandywine proper. No public park benches, outdoor basketball court, tennis court, swings, etc. We have extensive housing development occurring in Brandywine as we speak, and the developers have decided to build private recreation spaces not accessible to the public. I would like a public outdoor recreation space built in Brandywine to accommodate the residents who don't live in these private communities. This will immediately improve the quality of life for residents of Brandywine, and finally give my children a place to be kids and enjoy the outdoors in a space with the amenities they deserve. And you said my name right too, I appreciate that.
Sure.
So.
Do we have anyone else who signed up to speak, who I missed? Don't see anybody. Staff are okay? Anything else? Okay, so with that, this concludes the public testimony for this forum. I want to thank everybody for joining us and providing your thoughts and suggestions. We have staff here. They have heard every word you said. Feel free to have conversations and keep the conversations going for those of you who have already been having conversations. As a reminder, written comments will be accepted until the close of business on Monday, October 6, 2024, by mail, by fax, or by email. Again, we appreciate your participation and collaboration. On a personal note, let me say how wonderful it is to see so many young people here, and it's inspiring for us. It's great, if I may be the inner coach in me, it's great for their leadership development too, to get them out here and to advocate for the things that are important to them. I really, really appreciate that, helping to train the next generation of leaders for this county and for this country. So thank you for continuing to push for enhancements to our parks and rec and all the services for Prince George's County. Thank you all and have a good evening.